Out of 10, rate this dance for me.
Okay.
I think that went quite well. To be honest with you, I think that went actually quite swimmingly. Like,
you know what? It went well, but I'm gonna say, can you do it better?
Can I do it better? I can, but we're running out of time, so.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a 7.
Okay, 7 out of 10. That's like 6 more than what I expected.
I
So
mean,
like, amazing.
I was gonna say 2, but I'm gonna go
No,
with
I'll
7.
take the 7. I'll take the 7. Like, yeah.
I can't do no small talk, no small talk. I'm not with the small talk. Can't be with the small talk.
My guest today is not a usual unscripted guest, in the sense that she is from Los Angeles, from the United States of America, but she currently lives in Zimbabwe. She is a documentarian, she's an actress, she is a filmmaker, she's also a dancer, which we're going to get into a little bit later. Briana, thank you so much for coming to the 5FM Unscripted Studios.
Thank you.
And welcome to South Africa. I know
Thank
that
you.
you've been here before. One of the main reasons why you are here is to talk about the documentary that you produced. A couple of years ago, you went into Mpumalanga, into Bushbuck Ridge, and you were able to film a full documentary in a village, which we're going to unpack, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But let's talk about the road from Los Angeles to South Africa.
Yeah.
What drew you to South Africa in the first place?
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me here too. It's good to be back in South Africa always. So I, born and raised in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, started off my career as a musician, dancer, booked the lead in Step Up, and my film career took off for a while. And actually, at about 25 years old, I just hit this personal rock bottom, if you will. And I had 3 consecutive dreams about Bali. And I took off to go to Bali. And I went backpacking for about 2 months. And on that trip, I had a very spiritual enlightenment experience happen. And literally felt like I was like levitating at the top of this mountain and understood this new path that I was being guided on. And like I never felt lonely again. Like I could be alone again in my life, but I never felt lonely. And every night when I went home from Hollywood and films and this and this and that, it was all exciting and amazing, but I got home and felt really empty. And I just wanted something different, so I was kind of searching. And on that trip, I found that and trusted this path. And that path led me straight to the back of an elephant, and I was riding it. And that's where I discovered the abuse of elephants in tourism camps. And I was suffering for their pain, and basically realized that I was a part of this horrible thing going on for human consumption. And they're all painting and kicking soccer balls and that trip led me to wanting to do a lot of research around animal abuse and what was going on around the world. Led me to poaching crisis in Africa. I spent time with the mountain gorillas in Uganda and Rwanda and just went on this whole journey through Africa. And then it landed me in South Africa. And that was when all the work started, and I just kept coming back and forth.
Got you. Okay, so the documentary that you've made, it circles around poaching in South Africa, obviously a massive crisis that not only we experience, but the rest of Africa experiences as well, and that is rhino poaching. Your take on it, though, the documentary isn't 100% about rhinos. In fact, it's more to do with humans. It's more to do with how rhino poaching is affecting communities. You go quite far into a community in Mpumalanga, in Bushbuck Ridge. I get the sense that you kind of walked into an environment and you kind of went, okay, cool, I don't want to tell one specific story. I want to spiderweb this, and I want to tell the story of a community. Yeah. What was it like being an American coming to South Africa? And this is also post-COVID. This is like, in many of the scenes, people are still wearing COVID masks.
Yeah, it was during,
during COVID. What was your response like? What were the locals like in terms of telling their story to you?
The locals were amazing. There was definitely some barriers that happen. Cultural differences. Sometimes me just coming in as the white American foreigner, just moving at a quick pace and wanting to get things done, and not being nosy, but having respect towards others, but also wanting to get the job done and dig deep to people's hearts. And just to backtrack a little bit. part of the reason the episode, or the now documentary that we're turning it into, focused on so many people and communities, and we dug into that, was that I had seen a baby elephant die when I was in Indonesia. And when I saw that happen, it was such a huge realization, and I had this change of heart that made me realize if we don't heal humans, we'll never be able to heal animals, let alone the planet.
Okay.
So that's what actually brought me into, that realization brought me into wanting to work with people. Because if we don't heal people, we can't get anywhere. And that was the expansion of what turned into Abundant Village, our nonprofit.
Okay.
But that, and we're going to actually keep filming that right now on this trip in South Africa, which is really exciting.
Cool.
But the people were open and welcoming, and to be honest, I'm really looking forward to actually circling back with a few of them in these coming months to close up some story ends that aren't there right now.
I was gonna say some of the storylines that you tell, especially when it comes from the conservation angle, there are many follow-up questions that you have. So one of my questions was going to be, what's the plan for some of the stories that you've told?
Yeah. So, this kid Pila in it, who's this amazing singer and this artist, and just, he's so talented. We found him, he was singing at our dinner table, and I just was like, oh my God, this kid's incredible. And there's so much unseen and unknown talent around the world. It's like at home, we've got all of these amazing connections. It's a phone call to say, hey, listen to this kid's voice. Can you do anything with him? It's that simple.
Yeah.
So following Pila's story would be a big thing for me. As well as, pieces of the poaching. Like in our episode, we sat with an ex-poacher.
Yes.
And interviewed him, right? Yes. You get all the different perspectives that most of the world doesn't hear about. You hear about the syndicates and the armies of just war going on everywhere, and just horrible, horrible stuff. But there's also the other sides of these stories, and poverty, and what's really happening to people that are trying to feed their families. And, this continent is suffering over here. There's more people suffering than there are thriving on this side of the world right now. And you see that when you live here. In every different country that I spend time in, it's constant. So, that is why we wanted to create what we call Abundant Village, so we can deal with meeting basic human needs. But then Abundant Village becomes the dream hub, because I got to dream my whole life. So how lucky am I? I always say, if you're suffering, you can't dream. If you can't dream, how are you living? And I want to implement that and allow people to be able to discover their talents and give them those opportunities.
Okay, without being too direct, when you say you want to encourage people to dream, what is the end goal there? Are you saying that singers in South Africa will have the opportunities that you had growing up?
Yeah, I hope so.
Cool.
Especially in these dream hubs that we're working on right now.
Yeah.
And again, if you cover water, food, and energy, people are able to get an education. They're not in this state of survival mode all the time. And if you can get past that, and we can create that in these places where these areas can serve thousands of people at a time, that can become a domino effect, a ripple effect. In South Africa and Africa is the the cradle of humankind. It's like this is where it all started.
Yeah.
So it's a challenging place to work, I'll say that.
Cool.
But I think if you can make the changes here, and the world can see that, I think you can have an impact on humanity.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think you've touched on something in the sense that there are so many people in South Africa specifically with ideas, and we want to execute those ideas, and we want to be in situations where we can actually utilize the skills that are in this country.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you about coming from a place, and I'm going to use the word privilege, for lack of a better term, coming from a place of privilege and opportunity, and seeing how many talented people we have in Africa. What sort of advice do you have to somebody who is quite clearly talented, but isn't getting the same opportunities that you would have in Hollywood or even Bollywood or know, the UK?
Right.
What advice do you have to a young artist or a young actress or a young how would you advise somebody to go about being seen?
Yeah. Well, one, I'd say, be great at what you do. Practice the hardest when no one's looking. The competition for when it comes to arts or performance or whatever it may be these days, it's unlimited. The list goes on. You have to be fantastic at it, and you cannot give up on it. If you're passionate about it and you love it, you can win. Just keep going, and especially when no one's looking. That's when the deep practice happens. I'd also say, initiative. Like, that's a huge, huge thing that is so important, to take initiative, because everyone else is. So if you're not keeping up at that tempo and that pace and that speed of the way the world's running right now, you won't get seen. You will fall behind. You'll get lost in the mix, you know? So initiative, like what are the things that you can think about that would make you stand out? What makes you unique? You know, and expressing, I think, the authenticity of what you bring to something that would be different than somebody else. Like, show that.
Got you.
You know, and confidence. I mean, bring the confidence, whether you have it or not, make it. Find it, you know, fake it.
Yeah.
Get the confidence there when it comes to if we're talking about performance, which I usually am, right? Just sometimes people use that line, fake it till you make it. Like, it is a real thing. You know, put on the show and be amazing, and just know that you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that. You clearly have done that particularly well, because in 2023, you were honored at the Vegas Film Awards for Best Woman Filmmaker.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Oh, it felt so good.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So we actually filmed this as a pilot episode for a docuseries.
Yes.
And I just thought, you know, it's been sitting in the back burner for a minute. I'm bored. So see, there's the initiative. It's like, let's just do something. Like let's just start pumping it out and showing it to people and see what they say.
Yeah.
So I just submitted it to that first festival to just see, close to home, and bam, you know, right away we win Best Documentary and Best Woman Filmmaker. I was just like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
very cool.
let me
Yeah.
submit to some more.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick to the medium-sized ones because the truth is I know this is not ready for Sundance or
Right.
the Cannes of the world, right?
Yeah.
So now that we've won. We won PAMA, which is the Paris Art and Music Festival, I believe. No, PAMA Art and Movies, of course. Around film festivals for Barcelona, which I believe takes me hopefully to Amsterdam at the end of the year.
Sick.
And then we're nominated in about 8 right now that we're waiting to hear about.
Amazing.
So I want to turn this into a feature one-off.
Right.
And
right.
finish these amazing stories.
So that was going to be
Yeah.
the sort of the final question when it comes to this documentary is what is the future plan? Is your thinking that you've got enough to work with in South Africa, or are you thinking of expanding it to the rest of Africa as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to expand it because our projects have expanded. So they've already expanded in Zimbabwe, and right now we're actually looking to expand in Botswana, Namibia, and Mozambique.
Okay.
So if those all actually happen and these trips happen throughout this year, my hopes is to be finished filming by the end of the year.
Okay.
We'll add another, say, 37 minutes to it. I need a little bit more money raised. Done.
Yeah.
Next year, we'll submit it to Cannes, Sundance, all the big festivals.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You make it sound so easy.
You know, it's so not.
I know. Yeah. As somebody who's needed to produce,
so not. Yeah.
as somebody who's needed to produce content in South Africa and to a certain extent on the African continent, I understand exactly what you mean. Yeah. You get moments of brilliance, but that's like 5% of your time.
It's
the
just
rest
constant.
Of the time.
It's so hard.
I get that.
It's so hard, and this time it actually feels easy because it just happened this week in my mind where I was like, bing,
Right.
you know, this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it by the end of the year, and now I'll let you know what happens in December.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Yeah. All right, cool. To break away from the documentary super quickly, just to chat a little bit about Hollywood, chat a little bit about your career as an actor, dancer. You were part of one of the biggest dance franchises on the planet.
Yeah.
In the sense that you were in Step Up 2.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was insane.
I can
It was
imagine.
so cool.
Yeah.
I still just smile when I think about that whole experience. And, you know, I was 20.
Right.
So I'm 37 now.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. And I booked that job kind of on an open call. I mean, it was hard to get. I got 7 callbacks. The director messed with me and pretended I didn't get the job. You know, it was a whole process, and I wasn't an actor.
Yeah.
So I was a dancer, and I actually had a bunch of acting auditions before I had the one dance audition.
Okay.
And then I got it, and it was like underground dance battles in Baltimore with all of these sick dancers. And to me, I was, you know, the worst.
Yeah.
And I was a good dancer.
Yeah.
So I come in like, whoa, this is next level. There's people running up walls and flipping. And I had my one dance that won in a battle one night at like 3:30 in the morning. up against the wall. I did this upside down booty shake.
Sorry. So this is all real. Like,
this is real.
This is real. In
This is the
Baltimore, you can
best part that came with filming the movie.
That's
Of course,
insane.
the movie was amazing.
Yeah. But you were also.
It was so fun. It was
Market
like,
researching.
market researching
Yeah.
with some, whiskey and whatever else we had involved.
100%, yeah.
But it was the dream. It was the dream job. You
Okay,
know,
yeah.
I loved music and I was a dancer. So it was the dream job. And every single person that worked on that set as a dancer, I just love. Like, I love them. Like family.
All right, final question, because I'm going to dance for you a little bit later as well.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm quite excited.
I can't wait.
I don't know whether the world is ready to see this.
Yeah,
but anyway,
we'll
final
see.
question. I have to ask this as an ultimate fanboy. Linkin Park, Numb, the
Okay.
video. You star in that video.
Uh-huh.
It's not like there's a couple of frames of Briana.
Yeah.
You are that video.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was unreal too. It was so cool, man. I got to go to Prague. I
Yes.
got to miss finals.
Yes.
I was in high school. I was like, I'm leaving on a jet plane.
Because at that stage, Linkin Park was arguably the biggest band on the planet.
Yeah.
That song would then obviously go on to be one of the biggest songs of that decade.
Yeah. And I found out now it's the most viewed video in the entire world. Yeah,
Okay.
In the entire world.
Okay.
I can't believe it. I got some fans sent notifications recently, and I
Yes.
was like, "Wow, that's incredible." I was 16.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
And it's such a cool video as well.
Yeah,
Did
and you know
were
what? That also hit pretty big on mental health with a lot
Yes,
of
it
people
did.
that I wasn't really
I was going
aware
to
of
say.
at
I
the
was going to say.
time. Like,
There's
Yeah.
big, lots of themes of depression in that. And,
Yeah, it was cool.
Were you able to meet the band?
Of course.
Oh, and how was that?
My sister also happened to have dated the drummer of Linkin
Okay,
Park
so-
for
okay.
a long time.
Oh, so when you say that you're from Hollywood, like you're from Hollywood,
like straight from Hollywood, yeah, it's real.
Okay, amazing. Briana,
That's
thank
not
you.
why I got the job,
No,
though.
no,
okay?
of course not. No, we're not looking at any nepotism here. Yeah, Briana, thank you so much for coming
Thank
through. We
you.
really appreciate the fact
Thank
that you took
you.
the time to chat to us. Thank
Yeah.
you for telling African stories on the African continent. And please,
Yeah.
whenever you get the opportunity to tell the international community how beautiful Africa is,
Yeah.
specifically South Africa, please do so,
Yeah.
as I know that you're going to.
Absolutely.
So thank you for
Absolutely.
coming through.
Can I add one thing about my boots?
Please.
I just want to add, something that's been so amazing with. Can you see my boots?
Oh, yeah.
Here comes my kid. Something that's been so amazing with finding different partnerships in the people in South Africa. One of the most fun and exciting partnerships has been with Veldschoen,
Yes.
the shoe company.
Gotcha.
And I walked in there one day, met the owner Nick Dreyer, and just said, I want to make my own boots. And he said, cool, let's do it.
That's it.
So we created our own boots. They're called the Social Impact Shoe. On the bottom, it says love and trust. So wherever you walk around the world, you leave your positive footprint. And we just launched the brown ones this week.
Amazing.
We're launching the white ones last. And all of 50% of the profits from both companies go to Abundant Village.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you nervous?
Very.
Are you getting nervous?
Extremely nervous. Yeah. I'm actually lying because I did actually dance when I was younger. I did ballet and modern. But this
awesome.
is but this is not what I'm about to show you. Is not
Okay.
any of that.
Okay.
That's yeah.
I don't know what to think right now.
Yeah.
I'm here at 5
All right.
FM. He's here. Here he goes.
Okay. Cool. So out of 10, rate this dance for me.
Okay.
I think that went quite well. To be honest with you, I think that went actually quite swimmingly. Like
you know what? It went
Yeah.
well, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, can you do it better?
Can I do it better?
Mm-hmm.
I can, but we're running out of time. So
Okay, I give you I'm gonna give you a 7.
okay, 7 out of 10. That's like 6 more than what I expected. So
mean-
like yeah,
I was
amazing.
gonna say 2, but I'm gonna
No,
go with
no,
7.
I'll take the 7. I'll take the 7. Like, hey.
This is 5